In global affairs, decisive actions often carry more weight than diplomatic statements. On September 13, 2025, the United States is sending a powerful message by building a new military runway in the Philippines. This is more than just a building project. It's a calculated move directed at Beijing, marking a significant shift in the Indo-Pacific balance of power. The South China Sea, a crucial artery for global commerce, has long been an area where China seeks to expand its influence. Now, the U.S. is turning its promises of open navigation into reality by establishing a tangible presence. This new runway directly confronts China's regional ambitions, positioning American forces closer to disputed waters. The initiative falls under the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, reinforcing the alliance between the U.S. and the Philippines in the face of a formidable neighbor. While this may feel remote to many Americans, the consequences are far-reaching, touching global trade and the rules that govern international relations. The United States is solidifying its status as a Pacific power, gearing up for heightened rivalry in the region. Around the globe, leaders and analysts are watching intently, waiting to see how this strategic contest unfolds. The completion of this runway sends a clear message. America is reaffirming its commitment to remain a dominant force in the Pacific. Besa Air Base in Luzon, Philippines, is being transformed by an American-funded project. The upgraded runway will accommodate advanced U.S. military aircraft, enhancing both humanitarian and military capabilities. In disaster-prone regions, it allows rapid deployment of aid, framing the U.S. presence as a partnership for resilience. Militarily, it serves as a forward staging point, projecting air power across the South China Sea. The runway shortens U.S. military response times, placing power near conflict zones. Imagine an F-22 landing on the new runway, guided by Filipino ground crew, showcasing interoperability and deterrence. This event sends a powerful message of commitment and capability. The runway is not just infrastructure, it's a projection of power and commitment. It acts as a deterrent, reminding potential aggressors of the U.S.'s capacity to defend its interests and allies. The dual-use capability of the runway helps build local support and strengthens the U.S.-Philippine alliance. This runway is a symbol of renewed and strengthened alliances in a region of strategic importance. In Florida Blanca, near Basa Air Base, the American presence is a mixed blessing. For Elena, a local store owner, it brings economic benefits, with more customers and job opportunities. However, some locals, like Roberto, recall past U.S. bases and worry about sovereignty and becoming a target. A young nationalist hands out flyers opposing U.S. bases, reflecting mixed local sentiments. An American engineer sees the flyer, highlighting the complex feelings of the local population. The U.S. strategy depends on winning Filipino hearts and minds, funding community projects, and emphasizing humanitarian aspects. The legacy of colonialism and past grievances run deep, with mixed views on the American flag. For some, it's a symbol of protection. For others, foreign domination. The debate unfolds in villages, not just in Washington or Beijing. The success of the U.S. strategy hinges on local support and addressing historical apprehensions. The runway's impact on local communities is a crucial part of the broader geopolitical story. The U.S. presence is seen as both an opportunity and a challenge for the Philippines. The runway at Basa Air Base is part of the U.S.'s pivot to Asia strategy, shifting focus to the Indo-Pacific. The goal is to strengthen alliances and ensure U.S. preeminence in a crucial region. Distributed lethality disperses U.S. forces, making them resilient and harder to target. New sites in the Philippines create a network along the first island chain, controlling strategic choke points. Imagine a Pentagon war game. Dispersed forces in the Philippines counter a Chinese attack, ensuring U.S. resilience. The runway is about creating redundancy and ensuring the U.S. can fight and win after a first strike. This strategy reinforces U.S. power and deters potential adversaries. The U.S. presence in the Philippines is a key part of this strategic shift. The runway is a tangible symbol of the U.S.'s commitment to maintaining regional stability. The U.S. is adapting its military strategy to meet new challenges in the Indo-Pacific. Beijing condemned the runway construction, viewing it as a provocation. China claims sovereignty over the South China Sea, building artificial islands to secure its interests. The U.S. runway challenges China's ambitions, seen as part of a containment strategy. Chinese leaders view U.S. alliances as hostile, creating an anti-China coalition. Official statements accuse the U.S. of militarizing the region and warn the Philippines against being a pawn. In Beijing, military leaders see the runway as a threat to Chinese naval assets. The presence of U.S. forces complicates China's strategic planning, especially regarding Taiwan. A U.S. base in the Philippines could strike Chinese forces, creating a two-front war. For Beijing, the runway is a dangerous piece on a high-stakes chessboard. China's military growth is constrained by geography, and U.S. forces reinforce that barrier. The runway is a new challenge in the ongoing U.S.-China power struggle. The stakes are high, with potential for miscalculation and conflict. The runway is a symbol of the broader geopolitical competition between the U.S. and China. The U.S.-Philippines relationship is complex, rooted in a colonial past and shared wartime experiences. The Mutual Defense Treaty of 1951 remains the cornerstone of their security partnership. Rising Filipino nationalism led to the closure of U.S. bases in 1991, cooling the alliance. China's actions in the South China Sea pushed the Philippines back toward the U.S. The Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, EDCA, allows U.S. troop rotation without permanent bases. The runway at Basa is the most significant EDCA project, symbolizing a flexible alliance. Former President Duterte's hostility to the U.S. shifted under President Marcos, who embraced the alliance. Facing China's pressure, Marcos expanded ECA sites and asserted maritime rights with U.S. backing. The runway is a testament to the renewed U.S.-Philippine commitment. The alliance adapts to geopolitical shifts, balancing sovereignty and security. The U.S. presence is seen as essential for the Philippines' defense against regional threats. The runway strengthens the U.S.-Philippine partnership in a strategically important region. The Philippines faces challenges in securing its maritime territory against China's naval forces. The runway at Basa Air Base boosts the Philippines' ability to monitor its waters. U.S. surveillance aircraft provide real-time intelligence, enhancing maritime domain awareness. The base serves as a deterrent, signaling U.S. commitment to defend the Philippines. The Mutual Defense Treaty is backed by American military power on Philippine soil. The runway helps create a porcupine defense strategy, deterring Chinese aggression. The U.S. presence enhances the Philippines' defense capabilities and links its security to the U.S. The runway is seen as an essential tool for preserving Philippine sovereignty. The U.S. presence is a powerful equalizer in the face of China's expansionism. The runway strengthens the Philippines' position in the South China Sea. The runway conflict symbolizes a clash of visions for the Asia-Pacific's future. The U.S. and China have different ideas about regional governance. The U.S. promotes a free and open Indo-Pacific based on international law and alliances. China envisions a regional order with itself at the center, challenging U.S. influence. The runway is a focal point in this great power competition. Southeast Asian nations, including the Philippines, navigate between economic ties with China and security guarantees from the U.S. The runway strengthens the U.S. position and reassures allies. For China, it's an obstacle to regional dominance. The competition is heating up, with potential for miscalculation and conflict. The runway is a clear sign of the ongoing geopolitical struggle in the region. The future of the Asia-Pacific will be defined by this clash of visions.